Up till now, every song I've ever chosen for Song of the Day has been an original composition, but today I'm doing a cover version. Originally from the 60s, our 80s version is probably one of the best known renditions of this song. It's a classic written by Burt, Bacharach and Hal David. Over the years, it's been recorded by some of the greatest artists of their era, like Dionne Warwick, Sandy Shaw, Lou Christie, Jose Feliciano, Martha and the Vandellas, even Johnny Mathis. I'm talking about Always Something There to Remind Me, and the 1983 cover by English duo Naked Eyes. So, walk along those city streets with me as we take a look at this week's 80s Song of the Day. Originally recorded as a demo by Dionne Warwick in 1963, the song gained popularity through various artists. Lou Johnson was an R&B singer from Brooklyn who had already charted with another Bacharach and David composition, Reach Out For Me. His version of Always Something There to Remind Me was just a modest hit, but soul music aficionados consider it to be one of the definitive versions. The song was a bigger hit in Britain, but not for Johnson. At the same time, a young British singer named Sandy Shaw had recorded and released a cover of it, and her version topped the British charts.
I walk along the city streets you used to walk along with me, and every step I take recalls how much in love we used to be. Oh, how can I forget?
Then, almost 20 years later, came the release by British duo Naked Eyes, a rendition that Burt Bacharach himself described as very nice.
I walk along the city streets you used to walk along with me, and every step I take reminds me of just how we used to be. Oh, how can I forget you, girl? And there is always something there to...
Naked Eyes were an English synth-pop duo that emerged in the early 1980s, formed by Pete Byrne, not the guy from Dead or Alive, a different Pete Byrne, on vocals, and Rob Fisher on keyboards, both of whom had previously been part of a band called Neon, alongside future Tears for Fears members Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith. Always Something There to Remind Me was featured on their 1983 debut album Burning Bridges, along with other notable tracks like Promises, Promises and When the Lights Go Out. Naked Eyes' version of Always Something There to Remind Me is a new wave reimagining of the classic, reaching number 8 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It got to number 7 here in Australia and number 2 in New Zealand. Their rendition is characterised by layered synthesizers, a driving beat, and Pete Byrne's emotive vocals, giving it a distinctively 80s feel. Now, I don't often review the specifics of composition and arrangement in songs, but something always stood out about the Naked Eyes take on this song. The song starts with wedding bells, but not the really joyful sounding bells that one might expect. Remember, this is a song about loss and longing. His girl is gone, and though he can't get her back, there are constant reminders of her everywhere. The very first notes of the song, played in those wedding bells, are somewhat discordant and almost drowned out in a massive boom, like a cannon going off. It's really jarring, and it sets the tone for, if not the feel of the song, at least the sentiment of it. These aren't happy wedding bells. They're more like, to borrow a lyric from Do They Know It's Christmas, the clanging chimes of doom. From there, the song transforms into an up-tempo beat and synth to make a saleable pop record, but you can still easily sense the melancholy behind the lyrics. The official music video visually reinforces the song's theme of lingering memories, Byrne trailing his presumably lost love and visiting old haunts. This was before we invented the concept of stalking. Now, none of their follow-up singles ended up charting in Australia. Promises, Promises was a top 20 hit in New Zealand, and they had smatterings of chart success in the US and UK with other tracks. They did release a second album, Fuel for the Fire, in 1984. Despite their success, Naked Eyes never toured during their initial run because recreating their studio sound in a live performance was apparently too challenging. After the duo disbanded in '84, Rob Fisher went on to form Climby Fisher with Simon Climby, and they had quite a big hit with Love Changes Everything. Pete Byrne pursued solo projects, including working with Stevie Wonder on Part-Time Lover. Tragically, Rob Fisher passed away in 1999 after surgery for bowel cancer. Byrne reformed Naked Eyes as a live act and was touring with other 80s icons like Human League and Belinda Carlisle. The band has continued to release music, including an acoustic album called Fumbling with the Covers in 2007, and their most recent album was Disguise the Limit in 2021. So, there you have it. Always Something There to Remind Me by Naked Eyes. That's your 80s song of the day. I hope you enjoy it. And if you use the subscribe and notification buttons, you'll be reminded to join me again next time for another 80s song of the day.